Rocky Mountain Tournament Expert Division, hole number 8. Here we're going to be blasting it over the right-hand side with an APOC and a luminary type ball, setting up for a grizzly bounce-up shot for the eagle. You can use a luminary here, but I would recommend a P5 side spin 2 wind 4 ball if you have it, to give you your best chance at a drop, but not only just a drop, to clear the gap. So if you've got an APOC 5, then definitely if you have the P5 wind 4, I would recommend using that. If you have APOC 6 plus, you can use a luminary and then add an extra bar top spin if you need it, and I'll go over that in a second. The adjustment is P5 plus 10% max, 6 top spin, 2 left spin. It's a full overpower shot. You're going to want to pay attention to what you pull into. So setting up using the right rough as our reference, APOC 5 and 6 will have 1/3 of the blue ring in the right rough at P5 max rest. APOC 7 is blue ring touching at P5 max rest. And APOC 8, you'll have 2/3 of the clear ring into the rough at the P5 max rest. So if you notice here, I am just barely pulling across the OP line. I didn't really pull into any overpower. That's what you want to look for. So if you pull your adjustment and you don't pull into any overpower at all, you're going to want to back off 2+ yards. So you're going to want to push back towards the tee 2+ yards if you get a tailwind angle there. If you don't push back, there's a chance that your first bounce clips the bunker, okay? If you pull slightly into OP all the way up to 1 ring of overpower, then you're good with 6 top spin, 2 left spin, okay? If you pull more than 1 ring of overpower on your drive, that you pull into 1.5 rings of overpower, then you'll need to add a bar of top spin. So use 7 top spin, 2 left instead of 6 top spin. Otherwise, there's a good chance you clip the rough. Or you can switch to the wind 4 ball and then just readjust. That's why I say if you have APOC 5, I would recommend just starting with the wind 4 ball if you have it. Worst case scenario, you get a better, easier chance at the eagle, and you always clear the gap. But that's the tweaks for the drive. If you pull and you don't get any overpower, make sure you pull back towards the tee 2+ yards so you don't clip the bunker. And if you pull more than 1 ring of overpower, add a bar top spin if you have it. If you don't have it, you may clip the rough, you may not. It just depends on the bounce you get. I have cleared the rough with only 6 top spin, but APOC 5, you only have 5.8 top spin, so be aware of that. Now, if you do clip the rough, it's not a big deal. You can still reach. You'll just have to play a sniper shot at the hole instead of a grizzly shot. We're looking for 415 plus in most cases with this drive. It's a full overpower drive. Do your best to hit perfect. It should be single grate safe on both sides the drive. The approach, we're playing a set spin. The adjustment is P5 plus 25% at slider. We're going to set 3 backspin, 2 right spin, and then we're going to count up from min. So I'll set my spin. I'm going to pull back to the min line, and then I'm going to count rings up until I hit the target, which in this case is with an 8.5 wind. If you're less than 10 rings, or less than 10% slider, I should say, and your winds are below 8 miles an hour, you're going to want to have the tip of your ball guide just outside the right edge of the cup, kind of like you see here. So I'm always placing the tip of the ball guide touching the line just below the cup, so just short of the cup, and then offset to the right as needed depending on wind strength and percent slider. So the higher slider you are, the more you'll need to offset it to the right because you'll have an increased wind push. So 0 to 10% slider, winds below 8, then you'll have the ball guide set as you see here, just outside the right edge of the cup. If your winds are above 8, then you'll have it set about a cup outside the right edge for higher winds. If you're between 11 and 25% slider, you're going to want the tip of the ball guide to be 1 cup outside the right edge for the low winds, below 8, and then about a half a square to the right if you have high winds and you're between 11 and 25% slider. So it's a little tricky. It also depends on your pull angle and the wind angle, but those are the basic tweaks that have seen the best results for us here. Really good chance at a drop. If you happen to clip the rough on your drive, I would recommend playing the sniper shot just like we're playing the grizzly shot, and then play it like the offset for the 11 to 25% slider, right? So you'll either be a cup or a half a square outside the right edge at 25% elevation, and whatever slider you need, use the backspin needed to get the ball guide just to the cup, just before the cup, just like we do with the grizzly. I have the grizzly push from men chart to the left, so count your rings, set your spins, get your offset, pull straight, hit perfect. You'll have a good chance at getting a drop here. I do recommend you practice this shot at least once or twice so you kind of get familiar with the offset that you need that works with your pull angle, right? You pull a little bit heavier 59 or a little more 01, that's going to slightly change the offset that I've given you. What I've given you is what works for us and what has worked for us. So practice it once or twice, see what works for you, and there is a good chance at dropping this little bounce up shot. So I hope you get the drop. Good luck. We'll see you on the next hole.